All right. Hello. And we are experiencing technical difficulties from the damn start. Ain't that crazy? So y'all heard from me earlier, and I got off. So I'm gonna go ahead and start something up, play a video. I should have had queued up, but that I'm gonna play right now. Give me a moment as I deal with these technical issues. I'm gonna get the video queued up. Oh boy. Okay. All right. I'm here. Don't know if the audio's got me unmuted. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to start this from the beginning.
Purposes, do not go searching out
so you can just listen
in this video. Don't send them any form of
to what's going on.
Comments, threats, or
as I go through this video. You can tell I was watching and it would maybe come up.
I took a little break and I came back and I saw this topic. It's been in the news for maybe about 2 weeks or even more, but I just have to talk about it because I found this very interesting. Now, there's a UK politician by the person of Kemi Badenoch, who is the leader of the Conservative Party. She's the leader of the opposition, and this makes her in the running to become the next UK Prime Minister. She's Nigerian born, but she is a citizen of UK, and she's also married to a palm-colored person who I believe is also a UK citizen as well.
I grew up in Nigeria. And that is one of the things that fundamentally shaped my view of the world. I was born in Wimbledon, but until 16, that's where I pretty much lived with bits and bobs in the US.
So she's been in the news on and off, Nigerian news as well, because of her political journey and the things she said, and also most recently the manifesto.
All right, let me go ahead and talk now. So this is the dark psychology of the divested Black Woman Part 1. We did the intro, so now we're getting into Part 1. So what does it mean to get into Part 1, 2, whatever, 3, 4, 5, 30, whatever, how far we go? Meaning we're going to get into intricate parts of the topic from the intro. We're going to hone in and magnify glass into certain topics that we talked about from the intro of the dark psychology of the divested Black woman. Okay. Now, this is a Nigerian woman in a political field, political title, who comes from a third generation immigrant. So that means she's possibly a millennial or Gen Z. And so now she has new laws that she has implemented. And so now, as you see from the title, the British are calling her a sellout because she has went after directly the Africans and the Caribbeans with this new law. So listen up, y'all.
She came out to read and what she had to say about immigration and the changes in immigration laws if she comes into power or if her party comes into power.
Britain is our home. It's not a hotel. It's time to tell the truth on immigration and propose real plans to do something about it. I want to reduce immigration and make living here actually mean something. We need to change the way our immigration system works. So I'm announcing that the Conservative Party is going to do the following things differently. 1. If you want to stay in our country permanently and apply for indefinite leave to remain, the time you have to live here before you apply will increase from 5 years to 10 years. 2. You will have to be a net contributor with a high enough salary, especially if you want to bring family members with you. And if you've got a criminal record, you're banned. 3. If you've claimed benefits or need social housing, you can't even apply. 4. We will increase the time before you can apply for a British passport from 12 months to 5 years, meaning it will take a minimum of 15 years to start an application. 5. If you enter this country illegally or outstay your visa, you will be banned from ever gaining leave to remain or a passport. These changes, on top of a strict numerical cap on numbers, will constitute the most robust changes ever made to our immigration system. Lower numbers, secure borders, and an immigration system that finally works for the British people.
So on hearing that,
did you know that while you're watching this video, YouTube has been paying its creators over $63.9 million per day for the last 3 years? Yes, you heard that right. $63.9 million, not per month, but per
that a lot of people have come out to say what they feel, and people have gone as far as bringing up her background. From everything that I've gathered, Kemi Badenoch was born in the UK, but her parents were not residing there at the time. Her mother traveled all the way to the UK while she was pregnant with Kemi, and that was where Kemi was born. And the law as at then allowed her to become a citizen of the UK by birth, after which she returned to Nigeria, where she lived until she was 16, which was when she returned back to the UK. So this would mean that her parents saw a loophole which they took to their advantage so that their daughter could be a citizen and have an opportunity to a better life. So a lot of people have questioned the fact that if your parents saw the need to take advantage of this immigration loophole to give you these opportunities that you're enjoying today, you should be the last person to come out to be talking about this kind of immigration laws that if they were existing during your time, you definitely would not be a citizen of the UK. So a lot of people are alarmed and disappointed by these immigration laws, and they're calling her out for basically snatching the rug from underneath people who want a better life, just the same way her parents wanted a better life for her.
Or a passport.
How does a third generation immigrant even end up on this path? You're literally just a black poster girl. How did that happen? Which black man broke your heart? When she said that Africa and the Caribbean was too audacious and she couldn't understand why they even had the audacity to ask for reparations because the UK has not profited in any way of slavery, I knew the product build-up in them expired braids was getting to her head. I knew in that moment she was crazy. But this, you being a third generation immigrant and then being the poster girl for these type of immigration rules?
This is often the question that is posed to this is a divested Black woman. She just happens to be a foreign one, but she's a divested Black woman. But she goes into full explanation to why she has done this. I'm gonna just let y'all get through these people.
Okay.
The issue here is not whether she's right or wrong. The issue here, like the video clearly states, is that she's being a hypocrite. So she got to benefit from liberal immigration policies that let her parents travel from Nigeria to the United Kingdom. Those policies allowed her to be born there and to be able to claim British citizenship. And it's exactly policies like that that she's opposed to. She wants to decrease legal migration like that. And now she says that the United Kingdom, that she was allowed to come and be born in and benefit from, is not a hotel. So make it make sense.
No, I'm gonna make it make sense for you. The world is shifting, and I'm starting to understand what's going on here. I'm gonna tell you what. You cannot make your country great. You cannot elevate your country or the people in your country by bringing in unwanted people, undesirable people from another country. That does not make sense. That is a war tactic to take people from your country that are undesirable, unwanted, whatever, useless, and bring them into somebody else's country. It is a war tactic, okay? Now, on top of that, it is a new generation of people, of minds that are coming up, that are deciding the things that they are deciding and coming to the decisions that they're coming to. But what I'm saying is this. When you sit here and you say, hey, we got to put more rules on who comes here and what they do and how they contribute to my country, to our country. We have to set more rules about how people obtain citizenship in our country, making them improve themselves. Because you know why? People are wising up to what other people are doing in other countries. It's just that these countries who are a little bit more, I guess, quote unquote, Americanized, have been allowing people in and giving them services and this and that, and it's not working for the economy. It's not working. And then on top of that, as a Nigerian woman, she can still speak on what troubles and problems that she sees with her culture. And because she knows that the people of her culture comes to other countries and hate the country and hate the people and do what they do and lazy. She knows how her people are. And she's going to get into that in a minute. So there's nothing wrong with what she's doing. See, this is the problem. Everybody wants to say, but you're Black, but you've experienced this, but you did that. Yes, I have. Yes, I am. Okay, your mama Black, your daddy, okay, I hear you. At the end of the day, I still feel how I feel and I still see what I see. I still feel how I feel and see what I see.
Because that's hypocrisy, and that's wrong.
We should be deporting people more than we are now, even as we are in the ECHR.
So imagine this Nigerian sellout lady talking about how they want to deport immigrants from the United Kingdom. She's betraying the system that helped her. She herself, she's immigrant. She came to that United Kingdom when she was about 17 or 16 years with student visa.
This is where the Black woman's power lies. Isn't this some shit? And this is what it is about being a true divested Black woman. This is where her power lies. By standing on the side of power. by standing with power. It's how she keeps her power. Because whether Black people want to accept it or not, y'all the biggest betrayers. Y'all betray the fuck out of your own people. It's so Trump has exposed that Black, Hispanic, and Black people all betray each other. Yeah, it's been exposed. And y'all are categorized in the non-white category of people, even though some of y'all believe that y'all are white.
She overstayed even when the visa expired. She tried all her possible best to have a job there, started working McDonald's, then she got the document. After some years, she became a United Kingdom citizen. And now she's talking about she wants to deport people.
What worries me is that we'll say, we'll leave the ECHR, let's say we left it today, and I'm not against leaving the ECHR, but the problem still continues.
You can see the way the white guy is even looking at her. Like, what are you talking about? You just said you are immigrant, the system that helped you. Now you want to deport immigrants from the United Kingdom. You are trying to place these white people, the colonial masters, you understand? Because they know what they are doing. That's why they tend to put people like her in some certain position. So that when people like this are talking, nobody will complain of racism. Imagine she herself in Nigeria, a full-grown lady. She was an adult before she even go to that UK. Now she's talking about because that's what they want to be hearing. You saying that you want to block immigrants, you want to deport your people, and they'll be happy for you because that's what made them to even vote for that former prime minister, that Indian man. You know, that man was equally talking about how he want to deport people, he want to send them to Rwanda. She's doing the same thing because she wants them to accept her. Desperado, she's so desperate to hold this certain position.
Now, it is not just Black people calling her out. Even palm-colored people are pointing out this exact same irony in the fact that you took advantage of this loophole in the immigration or the law as of that time to become a citizen, and now you are taking that opportunity from other people.
Yesterday, Kemi Badenoch announced that the way she's going to control immigration is by making it 15 years before you can apply to become a British citizen, right? This is from Kemi Badenoch. Now, you're probably aware that Kemi grew up in Nigeria with her family, but she was born here. And she, I know. Okay, trust me, follow me. Hang on. Her mum flew over and used a loophole that we closed shortly afterwards. She flew here on a private jet, landed, got transferred from the airport straight to a private hospital, gave birth to Kemi Badenoch. Kemi Badenoch, then obviously because she was born here, she got automatic citizenship here, right? Problem is, as soon as she was born and ready to go, her mum and her jumped on a plane and flew back to Nigeria for 15 years. And Kemi Badenoch lived a happy life out there, growing up with her parents out there. And then she came here to go to school because we got better schools. So she came over here, obviously, as a British citizen, even though her parents have paid no taxes, her parents have paid no money at all into this country, at all, for the 15 years that she was living in Nigeria. But she walked back in here with her birth certificate, went, ooh, I'm British, I can do what I want. Isn't that great? But she wants to deny that to everyone else in the world. Everyone else in the world. I mean, that loophole has now been closed, by the way. You can't do that anymore. You're not allowed to.
Kemi's parent, I like her name. Kemi's parents did what they needed to do to have their proper citizenship. And I'm not on my microphone, by the way. I'm letting the computer do what it do. They did the proper paperwork to get here, right? That's what Kemi parents did. And Kemi did what she did because she had that access because of her parents to do what she needed to do to be what she is today. Please do not dismiss people's perception and eyes of what they see. The divested women are not lying about what they say. The divested women are not just sitting here just making up shit. Sometimes I listen to them and I think they take it too far and they over exaggerate because it is a show. I get it. But other than that, there's a lot of things that they talk about in the Black community or community, as y'all all say, Thai. I don't know where that came from, but that community thing, I don't know. And that they're not lying about. See, I have the common sense to understand that it's about your frequency of life. I have the spiritual intelligence to be like, okay, I understand it's people's level of life, people's frequency of life, the way people think, what they attract. I could understand all that because that's just who I am. But on another note, what I need to say is it doesn't take away the truth of what you see, of what goes on in that community, of how people are doing, because look at what's happening right now with everybody. Work, money, job, food. People are breaking down over food stamps. People should not be breaking down over that. You should have some kind of self-sufficiency. People are breaking down over that. That tells you a lot.
Land, you have a baby, get British citizenship, then fuck off to another country. You can't do that anymore. But that's the one that Kemi Badenoch's parents used when she came here. Amazing, isn't it, eh? Oh, but now she wants to stop everyone else having British citizenship because it's a right. Yeah, right, of course it is, yeah. Kemi Badenoch, you are full of fucking shit, love. Absolutely.
Kemi Badenoch is only British because her mother came here while pregnant. That same rule doesn't exist today, and now she is the one that wants to make immigration harder. The hypocrisy is insane. Badenoch's mother came to the UK while pregnant. Because of the laws at the time, Kemi was automatically a British citizen. That law doesn't exist anymore. If Kemi was born today, she would not even be British herself. And now she's pushing for immigration rules that would make it harder for families like hers to settle here.
Of course, not all cultures are equally valid. I don't believe in cultural relativism.
She wants to extend the residency requirement from 5 years to 10 years and ban them from permanent residency if they've ever needed social housing or benefits.
Background, particular class background, work background. What background is that? Yeah, people very, very poor.
So let's be real. If her mother came here under the rules that she's supporting, would Kemi even be here herself? This isn't about protecting Britain. This is about climbing the ladder and pulling it up behind her. She's not fixing immigration. She's just making sure nobody else gets the chances in life that she did.
Then another thing which I wasn't even aware of until I was doing research for this video was the fact that Kemi Badenoch had been in the news previously, I think as of December 2024 or November.
Here's the reality. Divestors hate Black people. They hate Black culture. They even hate Black history. There are divestors that have lived enough to have been in the civil rights movement, the Martin Luther King days. You got divestors that go that far back and they can still tell you how much they hate Black culture, Black history. Even those times they hated it. Okay? You know, you got to understand how deep the hate goes for the zealot divested Black woman. Okay? You need to understand how deep the hate for the Black culture goes. But there's a glimpse. There's a glimpse in the ones that are speaking up and talking by trying to reach out to other Black women. There's a glimpse of something inside of them that wants to reach out to other Black women. You have Black women like myself, who I do not like Black people and I do not like Black culture. Okay? I don't. But at the same time, there's a glimpse in me that still wants to do the Black woman's guide. There's something still in me, somewhere in them, that still wants to reach out to Black women and tell them about why it's important for them to divest, to get the fuck away from the community and the lifestyle. And it's something that glints to me that's telling Black women, this is the Black woman's guide. I'm not trying to tell you do anything with your life. I'm just trying to tell you what I see, what I've observed, and what you need to know and understand.
Thereabouts, and this was because of the way she seemed to always portray her home country, Nigeria, in a bad light almost at every opportunity, just like in these interviews.
This AI tool is better than Midjourney for one-time cost because
you can create unlimited AI images with accurate text for a one-time cost. No recurring fees, ever. I found this hidden gem for you. It's called Artistly. Here's what.
Do you trust the British police?
I do. But You know, remember my experience with the police in Nigeria was very negative, and coming to the UK, my first experience with the police was very positive. You know, the police in Nigeria would rob us. So when people say, "Oh, I had this bad experience with the police because I'm black and they're white," I was like, "Well, you know, I remember the police stole my brother's shoes and his watch.
His shoes?
Yeah, they took his shoes and his watch. It's a very poor country, so you know, people do all sorts of things, and giving people a gun is just a license to intimidate. But that's not the bar we should use for British police. Obviously, it should be much higher. But my experience was so positive. When I was burgled, for example, the police were there, very helpful. They eventually caught the person. This is 2004, so 20 years ago. The police did catch, they did catch criminals, and now we've given them too much to do, in my view. So the police are the first line of defense for everything, and I think that burden makes it a lot harder for them to actually do the basics, and that's another thing that we need to look at. I was born here, but I grew up in a place where fear was everywhere. You cannot understand it unless you've lived it. Triple checking that all the doors and windows are locked, waking up in the night at every sound, listening as you hear your neighbors scream as they are being burgled and beaten, and wondering if your home will be next. I chose this country because here I could breathe free and I could be everything that I wanted to be. I grew up in Nigeria and I saw firsthand what happens when politicians are in it for themselves, when they use public money as their private piggy banks, when they promise the earth and pollute not just the air but the whole political atmosphere with their failure to serve others. I saw what socialism means for millions. It's poverty and broken dreams. I came to Britain determined to make my way in a country where hard work and honest endeavor can take you on. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you, Roxy. Lagos was a place where almost everything seemed broken. I grew up under a military dictatorship, and I would never have believed that 40 years later, I would be standing here as the leader of the world's most successful political party in the history of Western democracy. I was lucky in my experiences. I was born to a relatively wealthy family and had a decent education, but I also know what it is like to be poor. I watched my family become poor as their wealth, income, and savings were inflated away by destructive government policies. But they didn't call it socialism, but it definitely was. Capital controls, no freedom of movement, government owning or could not operate, all the way to arrests with no trial and state-sanctioned murder. So I know what freedom looks like. It's what I had in the UK. I know the values and classic liberal values, not left-wing liberalism, but classic liberalism of free markets, free speech, free enterprise, freedom of religion, the presumption of innocence and trusted institutions within the rule of law, and equality under the law, no matter who you are or where you come from. All of those things were missing when I was growing up as a child.
I'm back, y'all. This is where she really gets into her story. Y'all know how it goes on this computer. Does it say 2 monitors? Okay. Yeah, because I'm sharing. All right. Let's see here. Make sure it's the way I want it to be. Yep. Let's see. All right, listen to this part.
interesting that everybody defines me as being Nigerian. I identify less with the country than with the specific identity that is Yoruba. That's what I really am. I have nothing in common with the people from the north of the country, the Boko Haram, where the Islamism is. Those were our ethnic enemies. And yet you end up being lumped in with those people. Anybody?
Because I know what it is like to have something and then to lose it. And I don't want Britain to lose what it has. I grew up in a poor country, and I watched my relatively wealthy family become poorer and poorer and poorer, despite working harder and harder as their money disappeared with inflation. I came back to the UK, age 16, with my father's last £100 in the hope of a better life. So I have lived with the consequences of terrible governments that destroy lives, and I never, ever want that to happen here.
So she doesn't hesitate to talk about the fact that she lived in Nigeria and talk about how Nigeria is a poor country and how police is corrupt, the politicians are corrupt, and how it's difficult to achieve your dreams in Nigeria. And at some point, I thought this was just a politician doing what a politician does, talking about themselves in order to sound relatable or to sound like they also have struggles as well. But after watching a couple of her interviews and listening to what she had to say, it started to look like she did not hesitate to always bring Nigeria into the conversation and say something that did not portray the country in a positive light. And for someone who says she does not identify as a Nigerian, she definitely has a lot to say about the country. Speaking as a Nigerian who was born and bred in Nigeria, I am not here to defend my country, but I do not see the need to have to put down your country to allow these palm color people feel like you are one of them, because at the end of the day, you will never be seen as one of them. And when it comes to a lot of these politicians that I...
Where you have to start understanding something is, it's about what level and caliber of life that you are on, and I'm going to fucking keep telling y'all this as long as y'all hear my voice, all right? This is what it is. I get told this racism, they don't like you, you're always going to be a nigga, and all this stupid ass shit all the time. But the only reason that I have ever experienced anything of the such is when I was around some very low life, dumb motherfuckers. You understand? That's low life, dumb motherfuckers' way of thinking. When you live your life a certain type of way, you don't experience that. Okay? I'm going to say it all the time. I'm very mean. I don't make it easy to talk to me. I don't make it easy to like me. I don't make it easy to get along with me. Don't matter what the fuck your race is. I don't make it easy for you to like me or get along with me. Unless I feel like it. That's how I move out here. Okay? Other than that, when I go into spaces that I like to be in, I have a good time. Last time I went to see Crypto, and I walked in that bathroom looking fabulous as I was. And I walked through there. I ain't paid nobody to fuck any attention in that bathroom. And I went to use the goddamn bathroom. All right? Went to go use the goddamn bathroom. And I saw one who was just looking at me. Okay? She just was looking at me. I ain't pay nobody no attention. I didn't say hi. I did not say hello. Because it didn't matter to me. What matters was me. Used the bathroom, washed my hands, dried myself. I think one woman looked at me and smirked, but it was one of them tight smirks. I nodded my head at her. And I kept it moving. And I understand how people expect, I tell you all the time, the black woman is people's little puppy, people's little low-key punching bag. I told y'all that. But there are times you can go in spaces and have a good time and it won't be none of that bullshit. People coming there for common interest. Nobody got all that shit going on with them. Everybody's just having a good fucking time. People are assholes no matter what fucking race that you're in.
See doing well in politics in countries that actively oppressed and took advantage of our people. I definitely expect that there's some level of tap dancing that they have done to get to the level they have gotten to in politics in this country. So I am not shocked seeing her doing this.
Should we be embarrassed about our colonial past?
No, we don't need to be embarrassed about our colonial past. Every country in the world at one point or another either colonized or attempted to colonize another group of people. This is the past. We need to talk about the future. There are many countries now who want to use guilt to try and exploit the UK. They ask for reparations. I saw it as a trade minister. It's not culture wars. I was at the WTO. I won't name the minister from another country. And he was telling me that we needed to give up some of the things that we were doing because of colonialism and because they needed time to develop. These arguments are a scam. Don't fall for it. We need to make sure that we put this country first. We work well with our neighbors, we work well with other countries, but we have to look after ourselves too.
What about the negative side that we should look out for, or the red flags when we're dating someone? What would you suggest to look out for?
Love bombing. I think this is a red flag in
Black women saying that, they may find that hard to understand from you.
Well, there are many things that the British Empire got wrong, but there are many amazing things that the British Empire also did. And we need to be honest about that and stop pretending that it was all bad. The British Empire ended slavery, the Atlantic slave trade. We need to talk about that more. I grew up, as many of you know, I grew up in a Commonwealth country. Many people in those countries don't actually carry the baggage that a lot of the left-leaning commentariat want to put on our country. We need to look at how we can help other countries develop as best as they can. We did a lot to help many of those countries. We can do more again. I would like to see that. But the answer is definitely not reparations.
Okay.
When I heard what she had to say about reparations, that was when it dawned on me that, okay, this is not someone that is highly disappointed in the state of her country and lashing out by saying all these negative things. This is somebody who is not for the people, not for Black people.
This is what they misunderstand, and this is what y'all misunderstand. When is Black culture going to address the elephant in the room in the culture? Are y'all ever going to do that? And the answer is no. She's from Africa. They are horrible over there. They are horrible to their people. And they're not building a goddamn thing. They're not building a goddamn thing. All the woods and nails that be sitting on the floor and all these different materials that just be sitting on the floor in Africa, but they raping babies. That's what they doing in Africa, raping babies. What else they doing in Africa? Raping the women that go to college for grades and shit. Raping women who go to the hospital and have to get under anesthesia. This is what these sick fucks in Africa are doing, and these mammies are allowing it. Cutting off women's clitorises. Making child brides. She's supposed to be for shit like this? This is the problem that Black culture has. Y'all don't know what does it mean to be for what for Black culture? When you say you are not for Black culture, what exactly do they need to be for Black culture? Tell me that now. What they need to be? Can I at least get that answer? What do these people need to be for Black culture? All right. See, that's an answer y'all don't have.
People. I've been seeing a lot of Nigerian blogs, carry these news around. Like, oh, Kemi, a Nigerian. I'm like, yes, she's Nigerian. Of course, Kemi, Ulua Kemi, or whatever her name is, but she's not there to represent us.
I can't wait till we get to body analysis. People with these fucking noses are troublemakers, People who have this shaped nose are troublemakers. I need to understand why people who have this significant type of fucking nose are troublemakers.
She's not there to represent Nigerians, women, or Nigerians in general. She's not there to represent Black women. She's not there to represent women in general. Okay? Kemi is there as a puppet. No this and no peace. Yeah. They've put Kemi there to make it look like, oh, a Black woman. Because they know how to get to us. So they've put Kemi in the forefront. But Kemi is just there as a face. And then they try to want us to fall for it. Obviously, a lot of people know this. But I'm just saying it to people that don't know this. But Kemi is just there. There are so many people, there are so many layers at the top that they are controlling Kemi because she's a puppet. Okay? So she's not there to represent us.
So people are saying that we should be happy that Kemi Badenoch is the first Black woman in Tory leadership. And regardless of our political views or opinions, this is a step forward for minorities. Are you okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, she is a mouthpiece for those narcissistic pricks that you call Tory party. And just like Rishi, she will be used to say what they're really thinking. And just like Rishi, they're going to try and push a racist, misogynistic agenda to suit them. And I'm sorry to all the Black and brown Asian British people, what the fuck has Rishi, Preeti, Kemi, or anybody else did for minorities? Because as far as I'm concerned, they have contempt. They have contempt for us. These coloured mouthpieces, because I don't even think that they deserve to be called Black and brown, these coloured mouthpieces will push these racist agendas and wouldn't think twice about the impact that it has on us.
But one thing that definitely struck me was when the Vice President of Nigeria came out to make a speech responding to the...
Okay, hold on. Let me say something. What the divested Black woman wants to happen is she wants Black women to get away from the Black man. She wants you to get away from the Black male. She wants you to see that he is a problem. Get out of the way and let the men handle them. Let white supremacy handle them and annihilate them. That's what the divested Black woman wants, y'all. Stop birthing Black boys. That's what the divested Black woman wants. And we're going to get into that Black boy topic too. We're going to have a lot of topics. We're going to hone in on the dark psychology of the divested or the zealot divested Black woman. That's the whole goal. Get the fuck away from him. This is why she does this. This is why she stands next to a non-Black man while she exudes her power and talks the way she does, freely, bravely, unapologetically. Watch how much this new law that she has in her country, watch how much it changes for your country. These new laws for immigration and people coming over and who's allowed to have the immigration and all. Watch how much it changes the crime rate, the happenings, and the things in your country.
Things she said about the country Nigeria.
Why is Kemi Badenoch getting beef from her home country? The Conservatives leader grew up in Nigeria, but she's now being criticised for not always having the kindest words for the African nation. Badenoch, who was born in London but spent most of her first 16 years in Nigeria, said in 2022 it was a place wrought with poverty and broken dreams. And this year she added that fear was everywhere in the country. But now Nigeria's vice president has hit back.
We are proud of her, in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She is entitled to her own opinions. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name. But that does not underscore the fact that the greatest Black nation on earth is a nation called Nigeria.
Badenoch's spokesperson responded, Kemi is not interested in doing Nigeria's PR. She is the leader of the opposition in the UK.
Let's just play a few reactions and hear what people have to say.
Recently, Kemi Badenoch, the first Black woman of...
So Kemi is going to what? Be on the side of the degeneracy in Africa and bring it to the UK? That's what she wants to advocate for her culture, her people? That's what she wants over there? No, she wants the best of her culture and her people to be over there. She wants the best representation of Nigerians, if there is even any. She doesn't want your degenerate behavior coming over there to represent her country in Nigeria. She don't want y'all over there. And I don't think she's wrong for that. She doesn't want the crime and the abuse and stuff to come over there. She even mentioned about the Islam and all that stuff and how that's a problem in her country, and she don't want shit to do with that either. Okay? Like, I don't think nothing wrong. I like Kimmy. I don't think Kimmy doing nothing wrong.
Nigerian heritage to lead the British Conservative Party made a bold and frankly troubling statement calling reparations for former colonies a scam. Just think about that word for a moment, scam. What does it bring to mind? For most of us, it conjures image of deception and trickery and dishonesty. Now, to apply that label to calls for reparations, something that's deeply rooted in the historical suffering of African and Caribbean communities, is not just dismissive, it's harmful. It paints those communities as...
Oh, yeah. Before he get into that, she is also talking to the Caribbean, too. Oh, yeah. The karma has been flipped on the Caribbean, something awful, and I'm loving it. I ain't going to hold you. Time has come. It's been long overdue. The Caribbean needs to be brought to their motherfucking knees. They need to humble themselves. The Caribbeans need to humble themselves the most. The Caribbean is the Caribbean male is far more broken down male than the black male in America. Okay? A whole nother shit. We can talk about that right now. The Caribbean man works 10 jobs and go home and beat his wife, his kids, and rape them. That's what the Caribbean man does. Caribbean man go ahead and get his little whatever car he got and blast his ignorant ass reggae music in front of the project building and think that he better, but he would never go to a non-white black neighborhood with that shit. He would never do it. But he sure will abuse his own. He sure will abuse. He will like, Kim, I'm not black, I'm this, name to fill in the Caribbean island. Going to other people's countries with that shit. She shut that shit down. And this is where black people need to understand where this is the problem. You're putting your power in the wrong space, and you're putting your power into being a fucking mammy to this degeneracy. And it's backfired on black women. Because 92% means that you do not support American values. You support criminals, you support ignorance, you support degeneracies, you support pedophiles. That's what it means to be a 92%. I agree with the zealot divestors on that part. That's what it means. That's what you're saying to the world. Why everybody else did betray each other, but that's what you're saying to the world. Hold on. He about to kick his soapbox, y'all. He about to get into his armchair revolutionary shit. I feel it coming. Let's go.
As con artists out to manipulate the system, when in reality, reparations are about justice. They're about acknowledging the brutal impact of colonization, slavery, and generations of exploitation that these communities are still grappling with today. Imagine being told that a call to heal from historical trauma, from generations of forced labor and cultural theft is a scam. It twists the narrative, turning Britain into a supposed victim, while making those communities fighting for justice appear greedy or deceitful. This isn't just a slip of the tongue. It's a tactic that distances Britain from the moral responsibility to confront its past actions and the economic and social imbalances that still persist today. Let's be clear about something. Reparations are not a handout or charity. They're necessary step towards justice and healing. Think about it. What would it mean for countries like Nigeria, Jamaica, Zimbabwe, and so many others to receive reparations. It would mean an acknowledgement of their histories, their losses, an opportunity to build from the generational damage caused by colonial rule. And to call that a scam is to shut down the conversation, to paint those legitimate demands as somehow.
That is a scam. Because what y'all gonna do with that money? Trump gave black men land and money. I have not heard in North Carolina. I have not heard about them niggas ever since his last presidency. What happened to that? What did they build? What are y'all going to do with that money? What businesses? What corporations? What are you niggas gonna do with that money? If he hands you black men reparations, let's say he hands reparations from America to the Caribbean to Africa to UK. What are you motherfucking niggers gonna do with that motherfucking money when it is handed to you by white supremacy? What y'all gonna do with it? Y'all gonna build something with it? No, y'all gonna be just as destructive and degenerate as y'all are because y'all are that way with the money y'all have already. Y'all already are not doing nothing with the money that you have already. So what the fuck are you going to do if white supremacy hands you something to build for your community?
How illegitimate or unworthy. Words like this don't just damage discourse. They feed into dangerous stereotypes that cast black people as undeserving or schemers.
A lot of Nigerians are ignorant of what Kemi is doing. What is Kemi doing? Kemi is subjugating our own people to make Britain look good in the face of white nationalists. It's a deliberate attempt. These white nationalists believe in colonialism. They believe that black people are subservient to them. These were the same people that sold black people in slave markets. So these white nationalists have a mentality. Kemi feeds into the mentality by doing something called confirmation bias, that the black people you subjugated over the years remain down. So it's good for her to say these things bad about her country so that
see, this is the problem right here. This right here. I want you to see this scene. Wait, let me go back to it. Yeah, I missed it. It was a quick clip. It was the woman looking at him.
That the black people you subjugated over the years remain down. So it's good for her to say these things bad about her country so that the white nationalists and the supremacists.
I tell you one thing, Kemi looks good. She doesn't look sloppy. She doesn't look overweight. She looks like she takes care of her body and herself. She looks like she takes care of her skin. I do like that about Kemi. Because most of these black women that be in these positions be looking all overweight and sloppy. And when wigs be looking fucked up.
She's trying to kill her to get their votes. We'll continue to support her. Secondly, she also made another fallacy by saying, no, you can't say, okay, I'm directly Yoruba and not want to identify with Nigeria because this is the country that met you. Secondly, she also made another fallacy by saying the people of the North are our ethnic enemies. They are never our ethnic enemies. We don't have any ethnic enemies in this country. You might have disagreements with people from other parts of the country, even your fellow Yorubas, but it doesn't mean you're ethnic enemies because, and that's why I think the Nigerian government should write a British government about Kemi bad enough. It is messages like this that spur a redentist and divisive nature.
Yes.
Because when you start to say things like this, you forget this was the same narrative they were spewed in the 60s during the Civil War, when the October massacre happened, where people were killed in Kano. This was the same narrative. All right. It's not my business if Kemi becomes prime minister or not. Agula Akutete, she will do a tenure or two and leave there in the end. But it's the damage she will have given and the way she will have emboldened people with all sorts of racial confirmation bias that I'm scared about in the country.
Struggling to get started on your book? Meet Squibbler, the AI book writer that transforms your ideas into fully developed chapters. With pre-made templates for all genres, AI-powered scene creation, and enhanced visual generation, your book comes to life effortlessly with Squibbler's AI.
I don't know if you saw that interview with Kemi Badenoch that she said there are many countries that are trying to use guilt to get reparations from the UK, something along those lines. Yeah.
Why are you saying please fear God? What do you mean? by that? Why are you bringing that in this? Y'all don't like the truth. And this is why Black women continue to look stupid around the world. This is why Black women continue to look very dumb and have very low intelligence around the world, which is reflection of the SW, of the niggers that y'all fuck. This is why y'all look dumb around the fucking world. This woman didn't say anything wrong. I don't live in the UK, but I live in America as a Black woman with Caribbean descent in New York City. And I can confirm everything she's saying. And she experiencing that shit in Africa, Nigeria, and saying what she's saying. I stand and I agree. I stand beside her on what she's saying. It's going to take you this long to get your citizenship. It's going to take you this long to get your whatever, your card, your green. It's going to take this long for you to get your papers. Because we ain't playing with you. You're going to follow rules. You know why I'm making you follow rules? Because you don't follow none in the country you come from. That's why you run amok and you do the shit you talk about. Fear God. What God do they fear? Raping women, raping children, and making y'all child brides. What God do they fear? What God do they fucking serve with the shit that they do? Can you please tell me that? But y'all get in an uproar. Y'all get in an uproar when a Black woman is standing beside a non-Black person while doing what she's doing, especially when I just call it when she's standing beside non-Black, which is white supremacy, and making the choices that she makes. Y'all know y'all culture's fucked up and degenerate. And y'all know the moment that people start cutting y'all off, and saying no to a lot of things with y'all, because that seems to be the word y'all need, telling y'all no for a lot of shit that y'all do, and no for just motherfucking wanting to even deal with your shit. Y'all go into fear mode. Y'all go into fear God mode and try to put something on somebody as if they're the demons and devils and shit, when y'all are the biggest fucking demons and fucking devils. Worldwide. That's why Trump cut y'all off. That's why the UK about to cut y'all off. And all y'all gonna keep showing everybody is how degenerate and pieces of shit that y'all are. And the Black women, you're gonna suffer in it so very horribly, because you know why? Because he gonna blame you. He gonna blame you. He gonna blame you. He gonna blame you. So he just gonna kill you, take you out, your little girls, or whoever the fuck. Because he wants you gone. See, that's what the divested Black woman knows. She knows that the Black man wants you deleted, Black woman. That was his plan all along when he got off, when them chains fell off his neck and his arms and his fucking feet. The Black man never wanted to be with you. He never wanted this Black love shit. He was forced to be with you by white supremacy. Okay? But see, when the divested Black woman tries to tell you, you better wise up, bitch. You better get in these positions. You better use your privilege of getting close to white supremacy to get rid of this nigga and annihilate him. I sit here and I look at my own personal life, and I'm not going to get into it. And I sit back and I look at who is the fucking problem. And it goes to that nigga called the stepdaddy. And you could say a bit of my own father. But I have to give it to that nigga called the stepdaddy, because at least my daddy did love my mama. Love to the down her dirty jaw. Love my mama. She the one who got away. But the stepdaddy, that nigga, even my daddy don't like that nigga. You understand? My father loved her so much, he can watch her be loved by someone who loves her. But if my daddy don't like you, that means he knows something ain't right about you. Okay? That motherfuckers he's the problem to what goes on in my personal life with some of my family members. He is the problem. That Black man is a wicked motherfucker. He's a very wicked motherfucker, very conniving motherfucker. And this is what makes the mammy so dangerous, because this is who she fucks. This is why the divested ones, they have to even say, fuck you spiritual mammies, y'all got to go too. All you astrologers, numerologists, bitch, y'all got to go too. They had to clean house all the way. You mammies that motherfucking fuck other black women who look like black males, y'all got to go too. They had to clean house all the way, and I don't fault them for that. Because in order for them to run a tight ship, they have to run a tight ship. Because the way it looks is that there is a mammy inside of a black woman somewhere, or any woman who's mixed with black got some kind of mammy in her somewhere. And that's why y'all can't be trusted. But when that black woman is not a swirler, but an actual zealot, divested black woman, she don't give a fuck about black history. She don't give a fuck about black culture, community. She don't care about none. She don't believe in black excellence. She don't believe in black love. She don't give a fuck about that. She believes, she wants better for the children, for the image of the culture. She wants better. And that's what everybody's missing. I like Kimmy. I don't got a problem with Kimmy. She ain't doing nothing wrong, but she getting y'all mad though. I like it.
Had to be a Nigerian, a freaking Nigerian. And my namesake at that. Auntie Kemi at the jaw. Hey, my puro. Auntie Kemi. My goodness, your ancestors, they went through hell. And you would think they gave birth to this woman in the UK. They literally brought her here at the age of like 16. No. I don't. Where did we go wrong? Where did we? Auntie Kemi, fear God, oh. And you see all the problems that is going on in Africa and the people that have been affected by the colonial exploits. And you're still saying that. I'm so flabbergasted. I don't know what to say. My Lord, it has to be you Nigerians.
That is the brainwashing that happens to y'all. That's a lie. The colonial exploits, that's the biggest lie. The black male wants to be on the side with white supremacy. He can't do it. The black male can't do it. He can't build nothing for you, black woman. He can't do it for you, black woman. He just can't. Even when he's a doctor, he's still a mediocre motherfucker that doesn't get respected in the boardroom. And you won't get the same respect when you walk your ass in there, black woman.
Nigerians don't feel a sense of belonging in their own country. Nigerians feel more fear and anxiety in their country. Most Nigerians will say worse things than Kemi Badenoch if they are given the chance to. Some Nigerians are just suffering and smiling because they don't have the chance, they don't have the voice, they can't even speak, else they'll be intimidated. So imagine that a person with so much burden find themselves in a place where they can speak out without the Nigerian government coming for them. They will say everything that needs to be said. Even Kemi Badenoch is not even saying anything compared to what some Nigerians are waiting to reply the Nigerian government. Honestly, because the funny thing is that Kemi Badenoch is telling the truth about the current state of the government. They have not come out to say that she's telling lies. So imagine what a whole lot of Nigerians are waiting to spill about the current state of the country.
So you guys have heard what everyone said. I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. First of all, what do you think about her manifesto and the possible changes in the immigration laws that she's proposing if she were to win and come into power? And secondly, what do you think about these conversations where she keeps bringing up Nigeria? What do you guys also think about what she had to say about reparations and also this political strategy of taking?
I think it's great. I think it's great.
I thought it was quite an extraordinary press conference. And we all need to remember that President Zelensky is a hero. He represents the Ukrainian people's strength and their resistance to an authoritarian regime that is trying to destroy them. He needs all of the support that he can get. And I think that it is inappropriate to conduct that kind of disagreement in front of cameras. The only person who benefits from that is President Putin. Absolutely. The Prime Minister and I are united in our support for Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting a war on behalf of the whole of Europe. And what we need to do now is look at how we can help them in the immediate term and also in the longer term. The state visit is from the King. He is the head of state, and I think that that is a matter for the royal family. We need to make sure that we continue to work with both our allies, both Ukraine and the US. We may disagree with the US on what happened yesterday, but what is important now is how we move on from what happened yesterday. And that means focusing on the summits that the Prime Minister is going to be having tomorrow with European leaders. A lot of European leaders have expressed moral support for President Zelensky. I think that's good, but we need action, deeds, not just words. Of course, the US is still an ally to the UK and Europe. And just because we may have disagreements on an approach does not mean that we stop being allies. And we need to move away from any sort of rhetoric that splits Europe and the US, because that is only going to benefit Vladimir Putin. I think it's important to remember the situation that President Zelensky is in. There are air raid sirens, currently ringing in Ukraine. What he needs is support. And right now, what we should be doing is looking at how we can help, whether with using some of those frozen Russian assets. I think it's time to start looking at how we can use that money to support Ukraine. Perhaps we should be looking at a minerals deal on the European side. Let's improve the procurement. At tomorrow's summit, what I expect the Prime Minister to do is speak to Germany about doing what we did with Storm Shadow missiles with Taurus, for example. Let's do concrete things right now that are going to help Ukraine, rather than criticizing them for whether or not they said thank you or not. These are very serious questions that the Prime Minister is going to need to think about, and we're prepared to support him at a cross-party level to do what is right in the national interest. We should not be doing anything that is against UK national interest. Our national interest right now is being a bridge between the US and Europe, creating a strong NATO that can help defend against Russia. Right now, that seems to be in peril. And what we need to do is look at all of the options that we have in the short term, like I've described, but also in the long term.
I'm loving the cows in the background. So beautiful.
Wouldn't it be cool if building a website felt like working in your favorite design tool? With Framer, it is. First is the freeform canvas. You can place anything you want anywhere on the page. And when you're ready to add more structure, you've got stacks and grids. Make your layouts fluid. Add padding and spacing. Align content to grids. And choose units that work for you. Then add breakpoints and make your site look great on every device. And if you already started in Figma, you don't have to start over. With our Figma plugin, it's simple to copy, paste, and go. Plus, with standardized pages and sections, it's easy to build fast. Framer gives you all the tools you need to build websites that look amazing, without code, on any screen. So get started for free today.
What? What's this?
I thought it was quite an extraordinary press conference. And we all need to remember that President Zelensky is a hero. He represents the Ukrainian people's strength and their resistance to an authoritarian regime that is trying to destroy them. He needs all of the support that he can get. And I think that it is inappropriate to conduct that kind of disagreement in front of cameras. The only person who benefits from that is President Putin. Of course, the US is still an ally to the UK and Europe. And just because we may have disagreements on an approach does not mean that we stop being allies. And we need to move away from any sort of rhetoric that splits Europe and the US, because that is only going to benefit Vladimir Putin.
The hell? You know, let me go ahead. What is up with people? Black women divest from America. That's very interesting. Okay, she don't got that damn nose.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Blaxican Exodus. Biracial, half Black, half Mexican, Black woman in the Black community.
Black Hispanic woman. Hold on. 13-minute video.
This
pretty good. I've never seen this one before. I've been searching, but this one actually started to pop up. I guess the algorithm picked them up. She was saying that she's black and Mexican. That's why she's Blaxican. That's why she called the Blaxican or something. That's what she was saying in her introduction. Let's go. Very horrible show today.
It's
very horrible show today. Very horrible show today. I do not like having tech issues like this. StreamYard, I'm going to complain today. This is ridiculous.
It's more like the Native Americans of Mexico. So phenotypically, you can tell I'm black. I'm black, but you can tell there's something going on there. Anyways, I have a perspective of growing up in a very diverse community. I'm from California. I'm in my mid-30s. And I have divested. I've been divested for 10 years. So I wanted to put my perspective on YouTube because I think that there is a common misconception when it comes to how multiracial women, multiracial Black women, view Black women in the community. I'm coming from my own perspective, my own experience.